This is the man OpenAI fears the most. His name is Emad Mostaque, and he is the CEO of Stability AI, one of the fastest growing companies in the world. By making everything open source, he is directly going against companies like Google, Meta, and OpenAI. But Emad doesn't care. He is here to win. Emad is the man behind Stable Diffusion, the image generating AI. My name is David Andre, and this is the fascinating story of Emad Mostaque. Emad was born in April of 1983, which makes him 40 years old, a little older than Sam Altman. His full name is Mohammad Emad Mostaque because he was born in Jordan. But just a month later, after he was born, he was taken to Bangladesh, where he lived until he was 7. That year, his life completely changed because his family decided to move to the UK, where Emad was raised and educated. And Emad didn't take this opportunity for granted. He studied hard and somehow managed to get his way into Oxford, which is one of the most prestigious schools in the world. He graduated from Oxford with degrees in mathematics and computer science, which is the perfect combo for AI. In his 20s, Emad became interested in helping the Islamic world by creating online forums for Muslim communities and developing Islamic AI. Little did he know that just a few years later, he would completely revolutionize the entire AI industry. But Emad didn't start out as an AI researcher. In fact, his first success was as a hedge fund manager, which is about as far from AI as you can get. He spent 13 years working across various hedge funds in the UK, which got his net worth up to 7 and eventually 8 figures. But Emad didn't feel that being a hedge fund manager was impacting the world enough. He wanted to have a much bigger impact. The money was great when working with hedge funds, and he was even appearing on the TV a lot of the time. But he wasn't satisfied, and the job started to become repetitive. One time he even said, "I spent most of my career making rich people richer." And if that isn't the definition of hedge funds, then I don't know what is. What's interesting is that Emad actually stumbled across the AI community by accident. When his son was born, he was diagnosed with autism. And when Emad went to the doctors, they didn't give him anything. They said, "It can't be cured, it can't be improved, nothing can be done." But Emad doesn't take no as an answer. And so Emad took the money he made from hedge funds and assembled a team of AI scientists and researchers. And together, they dove deep into the field of AI. They used techniques like deep learning and neural networks to figure out what autism is, how it works, and can it be improved? The research concluded that certain chemicals and hormones in the brain were causing and making autism worse. Now, Emad was able to solve that and counter that, which actually helped his son learn faster. That enabled him to go to a mainstream school, which doesn't sound that impressive, but for a child with autism, that's like winning the Nobel Prize. One of Emad's biggest passions is philanthropy, helping people, especially those who didn't have the best start in life. In 2019, he founded Symmetry, a startup that aimed to reduce the cost of technology for individuals living in poverty, like people in Africa, Indonesia, India, and Bangladesh. However, Emad only worked on this startup for 1 year because it was tough making it commercially viable. However, Emad saw the potential that the AI field had, and he wanted to go as big as possible. And so he founded Stability.ai. Stability was first founded in late 2019, but Emad only incorporated the company in 2021. The reason why he chose the name Stability is because the AI industry is very volatile, very uncertain. It's growing super rapidly, which can be intimidating and even off-putting to some people. People like institutional investors. And for that reason, making the name Stability, something that's stable, that has solid foundations, makes it seem more long-term and more safe. 6 months ago, Stability.ai had 103 employees, but on his most recent podcasts, Emad said that currently they have over 170, meaning the company is growing very fast. The motto of Stability is AI by the people, for the people. And is it just me, or is this slogan being used everywhere? Stability.ai does a lot of things, but of course its biggest hit is Stable Diffusion, the state-of-the-art image generating AI, which can create awesome masterpieces like these. A very important fact about Stable Diffusion is that it's completely open source, meaning anyone can check the code and the data it was trained on, which is completely different approach from companies like Midjourney and OpenAI, who are much more secretive and closed about their software and AI. So why does Emad believe in open source so much?
Because this is the infrastructure of the future. Does it make sense that the most powerful technology in the world is controlled by a few with no accountability? No. It should be owned and controlled by everyone.
And if you don't think that AI will be the most important technology of all time, just look at the amount of machine learning and AI papers.
No one can keep up. Anyone here is an ML practitioner who can keep up with a literally exponential curve in AI research? If so, you're hired. Please, come join me after this, right?
Now, to build a very successful AI research lab, you need access to a supercomputer. I think Greg Brockman, the CTO of OpenAI, said it the best. He said, "I think the most benefits of AI will go to whoever has the biggest computer." And for that reason, Emad Mostak and Stability.ai partnered with Amazon.
You need to have some amazing things. So I see some of my buddies at AWS here. They kindly built us one of the fastest supercomputers in the world.
When starting Stability, Emad completely bootstrapped the company, meaning he used his own money to pay for employee salaries, the AI research, and just all the expenses. But despite being a successful hedge fund manager, Emad doesn't have endless money. And so in October of 2022, Stability.ai raised $101 million in a round led by Lightspeed Venture Partners and Code Management. This round of funding put Stability's valuation at over $1 billion, which is crazy for a company that was barely a year old at that point. However, Emad wants to go bigger, much bigger. This year, in 2023, he is asking for a $4 billion valuation, which would make Stability by far the biggest open source company in the AI field. For most people, $4 billion would be more than enough, but Emad isn't most people. He wants to go even bigger. His plan is to take Stability public and have the biggest IPO in the history of the field. And the reasons for that aren't just financial. He wants to make sure that the everyday person like you and me has the opportunity to invest into the AI field, because right now you can't really invest into the AI companies. Most of them are closed source or too small, The best you can currently do is buy something like Nvidia stock, but Emad wants to change that. He wants to take Stability public. That way, even the retail investors can have a piece of the pie. But what even is Stability's business model? I mean, the company is open source, meaning you can download Stable Diffusion for free. So how do they make money? Well, to my surprise, the business model is actually quite genius. Emad plans on creating custom AI models for private companies like banks, hedge funds, or insurance companies. Basically, companies that can't use ChatGPT or models that are closed source. And the reason for that is because OpenAI and Google, they are using every single message in ChatGPT and BART to train the future models. And when you have large amounts of proprietary data, like for example, big banks have, you can't just put that into other companies' model and trust them to do good stuff with it. That's a massive security confidential risk. So there needs to be some company, which in this case is Stability.ai, that's able to come to these banks, come to these massive companies that need their own custom models and actually do it for them. Because, it's not the same as building a website. You can hire one or two HTML developers, maybe one CSS guy, and that's more than enough. But to build your own language model that's actually good, you need hundreds, if not thousands of AI researchers. And that's where Emad plans to capitalize. Currently, Stability charges $1 million minimum for companies to get their own model made by them, which isn't a bad check to get in your bank. Stability might be one of the fastest growing companies in the world, but working there is definitely not easy. At the end of 2022, Emad gave his entire team 2 weeks off and told them to prepare because 2023 is going to be crazy. And we're not even halfway through the year, and the amount of progress like GPT-4, Llama, Vicuña, Open Assistant, AutoGPT, BART, the amount of progress in 2023 has been insane, so the second half is going to be even crazier. Now, Emad is obviously a super smart guy, and as a result, his interviews are packed with knowledge. I mean, the amount of stuff I learned about AI just by watching Emad Mostak podcasts is mind-blowing. And if for some reason you're watching this, Emad, please hit me up. I would love to do an interview with you. Now, what's interesting is that despite being a CEO of an AI company, in March of 2023, Emad signed a letter calling for all AI labs to immediately pause development for at least 6 months, especially on models more powerful than GPT-4. The type of models that are being used to eventually create AGI. Emad Mostak doesn't give a damn about AGI.
I don't give a damn about AGI. Sorry for some people here do. What I care about is AI that helps people.
But AGI isn't the only thing that Emad doesn't care about. Citations and state-of-the-art are another two things that he doesn't give a damn about.
I don't give a damn about citations or state-of-the-art. All I care about is the quality of your output. We don't care if you get things wrong. It's not constrained because you are creatives and artists building this technology.
One of the main reasons why Emad was drawn to make an image generating AI like Stable Diffusion is because he has a rare condition called aphantasia, which means that he doesn't have the ability to visualize anything in his brain. Which sounds absolutely crazy if you ask me. I mean, I can't even imagine not having the ability to visualize stuff in my head.
I have aphantasia, so I can't visualize anything in my brain, which is more common than people would think. In fact, a lot of the developers in this space have that. Like, we've got nothing in our brain.
If you want me to make more videos like this, then please subscribe. It takes 1.4 seconds.